Hey, Swag here. Today we're going a bit of a different route. Today we're looking at gaming thumbnails. Now, I'm by no means an expert, and I know what you're thinking. Swag, what the fuck? What the fuck? Who are you to talk about thumbnails? Now, I wouldn't even consider myself being extremely good at making thumbnails. However, for the majority of me being on YouTube, I've not only made thumbnails for myself, but also for others and have helped them make better thumbnails. But I digress. Doom scrolling through YouTube yesterday, something funny crossed my mind. Or rather, I noticed something that I found pretty interesting when it comes to bigger channels that either focus on gaming or have gaming as a major aspect of their brand or identity, if you'd like. These fuckers use the most basic bitch thumbnails out there, with minimal to no editing at all, and still hit the mark. For reference, the average gaming thumbnail can take up to anywhere from 30 minutes to 4 hours with a massive amount of planning, retouching and editing multiple assets together. Now, I like to call these basic bitch thumbnails anti-thumbnails, because they represent exactly what most content professors or YouTube gurus tell you not to do. Yet these thumbnails hit the nail on the head when combined with titles chosen by creators I'll mention in just a little bit. They are simple to a degree where our monkey brains don't need to question what's going on or what the video will be about, yet appealing enough for us to click on them. They are a true enigma, and I intend to explain why they do what they do. To understand what I mean, let's go to YouTube and look at some thumbnails from, for example, Charlie, aka Moist Critical or Penguin Zero, Mudahar, and some others. To preface what I'm about to say, by no means do I intend to call the thumbnails lazy, shit, or anything negative. In contrary, they are well done and hit the spot exactly. Alright, so looking through Charlie's channel, who is notorious for a very raw form of content, not a whole lot of fancy editing in his videos, if at all, just pure unadulterated dry humor and facts most of the time. You can find a video called Andrew Tate, who is very popular right now. Which literally just shows Andrew Tate. Spider-Man is dead, which shows a Spider-Man animation failing a jump that went viral on Twitter a few weeks ago. But most thumbnails are either just Charlie himself or images that directly relate to the topic. Now, while sure Charlie has been around for a long time on YouTube and has a massive following, even though statistics normally mean nothing if the thumbnail doesn't attract a viewer, Charlie's combination of simplistic, to-the-point thumbnails and titles theoretically shouldn't even work. They do work because Charlie's core audience wants exactly what he offers: raw, unfiltered opinions and a very personal approach to his fanbase. We could almost say the same thing about Mudahar, or his channel name Some Ordinary Gamers. Obviously, a few of these thumbnails have more or less editing going on. However, the dominant theme here is you either see Mudahar, a reaction from Mudahar, or the topic's background with some text or images on it. There's no fancy 3D software work going on, completely rigging an in-game character or weapon, retouching, skin editing, or anything. These thumbnails could be the same thumbnails, but on a channel with 100 subscribers, and they'd still have the same effect. They're honest thumbnails. Again, unfiltered, raw, no bullshit, to-the-point content with appropriate titles and anti-thumbnail thumbnails work their magic. Even PewDiePie, the biggest independent creator on the platform, uses the same style of thumbnail most of the time. Now, arguably, when you're the biggest creator on the platform, you can do pretty much whatever the fuck you want to do, but that is also not the case. There are hundreds of examples of people who fluctuate massively in terms of viewership, even with massive followings. Now let's take a step back and go into the nitty-gritty and discuss why these thumbnails work. Because in the game we call YouTube, there's millions of different styles of thumbnails. We have the reaction phase thumbnails. We have the show an expensive item and price tag thumbnails. We have the gaming thumbnails with bright colors and little text. And then we have the anti-thumbnail thumbnails. Yes, I just said thumbnail 5 times in one sentence. The reason why anti-thumbnails work is because they emit the feeling of realness. In a world where people fight for the most views, the best clicks, CTR, AVD, CPM, etc., all those bullshit words, the anti-thumbnail sticks out like a sore thumb.
You're so funny.
Let's imagine a video title: I bought an amusement park. You instantly think of a well-edited, super saturated, colorful thumbnail from the likes of, for example, Mr. Beast. We have been conditioned to look for those kind of thumbnails because they tickle that specific area in our brain that makes us go, "Ooh, bright colors, monkey." Click. But as of recent years, creators have gotten better and better at making those thumbnails themselves, and as a result of that, YouTube is riddled with flashy thumbnails that more often than not do not even hit the topic of the video, but rather serve as a means to an end. The means being bright colors and big wow faces, the end clicks on the thumbnail. It's very simple. In the sea of high contrast and highly saturated images, thumbnails like the anti-thumbnail are the odd one out. They have now become the object of intriguement or the object of interest. Paired with a short, nail-on-the-head kind of title, they make the ultimate combination of looks like a shit post, but it's interesting enough to make me want to click on it because the rest is so polished. In basic terms, it's the David versus Goliath principle, where the polished and well-edited thumbnails look more corporate every year and the anti-thumbnail reflect more of what the creator, but also ultimately YouTube is or was about. Content by people, for people, not content by big boy corporations or marketing companies for people. Even in the games I've played, like Destiny for example, there are people who are highly skilled in Blender and make the most insane thumbnails. Take Bongo FX for example. These thumbnails are incredible. They leave me as a guy who has made his fair share of images wondering if I should even make another thumbnail. That's how good they are. Yet their view count pales in comparison to a more simple and, dare I say, more basic kind of thumbnail, for example by someone called Fallout Plays, who admittedly is a large creator in his niche, but also understands how to build the feeling of I want to click this and find out what the dude has to say with his viewers. I for my part really enjoy this trend, and my tip for any creator out there who wants to hit it off with their audience, try it. Make one of these anti-thumbnails and see how they do for you. That's it for me. If you liked the video, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and later.